Welcome. It is Tuesday, the 4th of July. Who can believe that it is July? We have a special guest tonight. I asked her today, I don't usually do training on a Tuesday night, but I saw she was doing a social media training. What's really funny is I was just on as a guest speaker on another team's call, and they were like, Lauren, the it girl of social media. I'm like, not anymore. Which is good. I always say, I heard John Holowati say it once, and he said, find people in this business that are better than you. And I was like, cool, I can do that. It's not hard. And so I met this girl. God, I think we celebrated like ages on Facebook the other day, Marissa. But I met Marissa on social media, funnily enough. And she followed me for a while. She actually came to me in regards to a business post, I thought, but she was interested in a product, and she actually took the product for maybe 2 or 3, almost 4 months before she decided to jump on the business. She is a busy mum of 2. Her husband's got a traditional business, and they renovate homes and things like that. So she had everything on her to-do list of why not to do this business. And she told me all of her excuses, and I listened to them. And I kind of just said, but what if you could? And I know she's had different times in the business where she's kind of like, oh my God, yeah, this is so much better than traditional business. She's had lots of crazy things happen. Her kids are full on. She's always in the car. But she's been someone that has definitely used a no excuses attitude. I actually messaged her and I was like, sorry, I've been a bit MIA. I've been doing lots of other things, and I've had something personal happen in one of my friends in my life. Her dad is really sick, so I've kind of been to the hospital a lot with her. And I'm like, sorry. And she's like, no, if I'm going to be successful in this business, it's not up to you. It's up to me. So she has that do whatever it takes attitude, and she's got some crazy things from conference. She just attended her first Juice Plus conference here on the GC. And yeah, I think it just opened her eyes to the vision a lot more. And since then, she's been even more on fire and on focus and on point with building this. And she's put a lot of people in front of me. We say be teachable to the system, create curiosity through social media, which Marissa is going to talk to you about. Because she's been able to do it so successfully. Her social media always looks amazing and pretty, and she's been able to build a business page. I think I kind of just touched on it. I just kind of wanted her to share what she was doing. She's super nervous, which I'm sure she's already told all of you, but she's gonna rock it. But I guess before I get into that, if you're brand new, if you're been in the business a little while, maybe you've been in the business a lot, for a while. I think, the message I want to get across is social media is a tool in your tool belt. Definitely there's not one size fits all. I think it's finding, sorry, I'm house sitting Adam's house and his cats are mental. And it's definitely finding, you on social media. Who like chasing each other up the stairs. It's finding you on social media. It's kind of, finding your authenticity and really standing out from the crowd. The message I want to get to you is, don't reinvent the wheel. Yet what works today on social media won't work in 2 weeks' time because it's always evolving. But if you're listening to this, Rissa is going to share stuff about business pages, but unless you can master the fundamentals first, because business pages, to be fair, they cost money. They take a lot of time. I love mine, but it takes a lot of my time. And you need to add loads and loads of value. So you look at people that have really smashed this business on social media, they usually have had a very large following from adding value for years. You look at Rebecca Neal, Brian Marsh. Brian Marsh comes with an IT background as well, which helps. Adam Westwick, Kira, they literally were pouring value into social media with no monetary return. So, in the likes of the health and fitness realm, Adam owned gyms, this business is a network marketing business. So you need to network. You can't just market to the same people day in and day out. I think that's just kind of the message I wanted to get across. But I'm going to hand it over to Marissa. I don't know what she's going to share. It's going to surprise me. I'm going to take a lot of notes, and maybe we can ask questions at the end. But it's a super casual. If you guys have questions throughout it, then write them in the comments below. If you have anything that you want either of us to cover or answer or share, then go for it. But I'll find you and there you are. Take it away.
Hi guys, I am super nervous about this, and I've got notes in front of me, so you'll see I'm not like Loz. I can't just speak naturally like she can, so I'm going to have to refer to my notes that I've written down. But Loz has just asked me to go through a few things with everybody about how I've created success on social media. So I thought what I'd do is go back to right from the beginning, where when I first started the business and how I got to where I am now at the end. And social media is a bit, if we refer back to our 5 paying activities, social media is exactly the same as that. And that is what I've implemented throughout my social media journey so far. So the biggest thing that when I started is I had only 462 friends on Facebook. And I remember that number because I was always looking to see how many friends I had on social media. And I remember it perfectly clear. And when I came into the business, I knew that the 462 people that I had, we're probably not really going to connect with what I'm just about to do, what the journey that I'm just about to take. So in terms of, they may look at doing the products, but they may not, and they may not really be interested in the opportunity. So right from the beginning, I knew that I had to connect and reach out to people. And that's the first thing that I did on social media. I didn't start with a business page. I purely started with my personal page. And I encourage everyone to really do that when they first come into the business. So how I did that right from the beginning is, how am I going to connect with these people? How am I going to get people into my personal page? And I think it's the question that everyone asks. How do you add people into your personal page so they can follow your journey? And what I did was I just got myself into a lot of groups. So when I say I added myself into groups, I wasn't adding in to plug Juice Plus by any means. I was in there to look for groups that I found interest in. So I had an interest in renovating, so I searched for groups that I had those interests in. So I looked for groups that were renovating, home decorating, groups that I had genuine interest in. And it wasn't there, I wasn't going into those groups to plug Juice Plus. I was going in there to add value and reach out and connect with people, and hopefully I can convert them to my personal page so they can follow my journey. So right at the beginning, I got that really quickly, and I'd go into these groups. People go, well, Marissa, how do you get them from that page to your page? And what I used to do is I used to go in and I'd have a look at who's actually asking questions, and then I'd answer them. I'd give value and I'd try and connect with those people. And as soon as I made a connection with that person, it could just be very, from hi, what a group page is like. They're very, hi guys, what's the best, say for example, paint, because I was into decorating. So I would actually go in and I'd answer that question and I'd give value and I'd start a genuine conversation with those people. As soon as I've made that conversation, boom, I'm adding them as a friend. And sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. So I used to get from people, oh, I think you've added me by accident, or some people would just go, yep, they've added me as a friend. It doesn't happen all the time, but it did happen, and it definitely worked for me. And I continually stuck at that every day. And I'm not talking about 1 or 2 days a week. I did that every day, 7 days a week. At nighttime, I would genuinely go into those groups, and I would find people that I can add value to and start conversations with and add them to my personal page. And that's how I started creating more people into my personal page, so I knew that they could follow my journey. And it wasn't necessarily to think, hopefully I'll get a sale out of them straight away, because we all know that this business is long term. It's not short term. It's not a get rich scheme. We're not going to get their business in the first month. But what it's doing is it's actually it's allowing them to follow my journey that's now on Facebook. And that's what I've seen now in the last 6 months of the business. I've added these people right from the beginning, and they're now coming through because they've watched my journey. And that's the first thing I started with. I didn't have a business page. I just added and added and added. And there were some days that I was actually adding 30 people a day. So if you're not adding at least one person a day to your network, if you're not reaching out, if you're connecting, I strongly start recommending to do that. And I'm trying to teach my team that that's what they should be doing now, because what's going to happen later on, and we all know how the business works. It's what you do now is what affects you down the track 3 months later. And I'm finding that very much so now in the business and where I'm going. So in terms of connecting with people, I was just simply jumping into groups, and I did that every day. I didn't do it, sporadically once or twice a week. It was every day. And I found groups that I had genuine interest in. I wasn't going into groups that related to Juice Plus. So I never went into health and wellness groups because I generally didn't have an interest in those groups at that stage. I was finding groups that I purely had an interest in right from the beginning, and that I knew I could add value to. So that's where I started. Instead of giving value in those groups, instead of plugging Juice Plus, I was interacting and giving value to what they were asking in those groups. So, sorry, I'm just reading my notes so I know where I'm up to. So each day I was doing that every day, and I would add sometimes 30 people a day. And I still continue to do that every day, even though I have a business page now. I still continue to do that every day. It's not as much as what I did right at the beginning, but it's definitely, I'm still adding that every day. So I'm connecting and reaching out. And that's one of your 5 paying activities. The next thing, so once I started building more people into my personal page, the next thing I was doing was sharing my journey and my story. So again, if you look back at your 5 paying activities, it relates back to that. Sharing is one of your 5 paying activities. So again, I was sharing my journey on Facebook. And when I'm sharing my story, you'll notice if you go into my Facebook page, you very rarely see Juice Plus. I'm actually sharing my journey. I'm creating curiosity around what I'm up to, and I'm getting people intrigued. I never ever post that I'm doing Juice Plus because I want engagement. I want people to interact with me, and I want people to ask Marissa, what are you doing? And I think that in general, if you look at the network marketing industry and you look at all the leaders that are in not only Juice Plus, but are in network marketing, none of them on their page share their products. They're all sharing maybe the benefits of the products, or they're branding themselves. And I think that's really key. And that's what I generally did right from the beginning. I never came in plugging Juice Plus. It was always the benefits that I was sharing in my posts and what it could do and what the business opportunity could do as well. If you look at Facebook, if you think back to when Facebook started based on a few university people wanting to interact with the other community in the university. So they were sharing stories. They were, it was like a diary. It was, people were sharing what they're up to. And I think now more so, because there's so many more people getting into network marketing, we're getting it wrong. We're using our personal page now as a plug to promote products, when really we should be going back to basics, and we should still be using it as a diary and sharing your daily journey and not promoting those products from your page. I do get asked a lot, why is it such a secret society and why do you keep it so quiet? And it's not because that, the products don't work. We all know that products do, but it's actually about connecting with people and getting people to interact with you, because what happens if you put Juice Plus on your page, what's going to happen is your friends list are going to see that. They're not going to connect with you about it. They're going to go and search on Google or YouTube. They're going to look it up elsewhere. So one, you don't know that this person has an interest, and two, you can't follow up with them because you don't know that that's what they're looking for. And we all know what people do is they always find the worst in products, and we don't want to we don't want that to happen. We want to actually give the correct information to people. So again, get them off that your personal page and into a personal message, interact with them and tell them the benefits that we know that work, instead of them going out looking, for all the negatives that are out there at the moment. So coming back to all of that, that's definitely what I've done and what I've created, and I've been consistent every day with that. And if you look on my page, there's nowhere that says Juice Plus except for when I went to conference and we had the massive big Juice Plus sign behind us. So that's definitely my recommendation for when I first started. So one was to connect with as many people as you can and go into groups and find groups that you have common interest in. And two, start using your journey on Facebook as a diary. Use what's happening in your day, create intrigue, get people interested that, oh, what she's doing looks good, or, share your testimonials on Juice Plus, of course, but we're not promoting Juice Plus. And I think bottom line, that's one of the most important lessons that, or most important teachings that most network marketers who are extremely successful, that's what they say. You really need to brand yourself and your story and not the products. And that's all I've done, simply right from the beginning. And I still do that right to this day. The next thing is that I stopped comparing myself to other people and what they were doing. So we all know when we join Juice Plus that we have 50 other Juice Plus members at us on Facebook, which is great. We all love that because we all want to interact and we all want to communicate with everyone. But now, as I have watched and what I've developed over the last 5 months is that, and I'm starting to teach my team to, it's great to add people, but what you've got to remember as well, that when we have lots of these Juice Plus people come into our page, what we're doing then is we're actually getting our posts to other beautiful Juice Plus people, and we're not actually specifically getting out to those people that we want to really connect with. So I'm not saying don't add people, but what you can do is you can certainly add them and then unfollow them straight away. And that's a strategy that I do now as well, because it does, Facebook do have algorithms where if you're interacting with people all the time on Facebook, then you're going to see their posts more often in your feed, and vice versa. They're going to see your posts vice versa. So we want to kind of avoid that. And I did learn that quite earlier on. So now that's what I also do with other Juice Plus people. Right from the beginning, I've also shared the journey and the story. I've shared story. I'm a good storyteller. I've shared everyone's story, I think. I've shared Joe's story. I've shared Deb's story. I've shared Jana's story. I've shared Lauren's story. I've just shared stories. And that's what I've done. Again, it creates intriguement and people are getting curious. So be a good storyteller right from the beginning as well, and share as many stories as you possibly can. Share your own personal story. And I get so many team now coming in and saying, oh, but I don't have a story like you, Marissa. Well, you do have a story like me, because why did you come to this business? Why are you doing your products? You've got a story already. And if you feel like you don't have a story, there's so many other people in our group, in our industry, that we can share those stories and use them to help get intriguement to your posts. So I did those all really earlier on. And I think right at the beginning of the business, or, you know, even a couple of months into the business, I started thinking, oh, you know, I'm not really getting anywhere. I'm doing the 5 paying activities every day. I'm connecting, I'm sharing, I'm following up, but really nothing's happening. But now that I look back at it, it's my consistency that started right from the beginning, my adding people to my friends list. It's now starting to pay off, and I see that now, and I realize that now. So if you're not seeing anything in your business at the moment, keep going, keep being consistent, because it certainly does pay off, and I'm definitely seeing that in my business. So the other thing that I do is when people come in and so I've put a post up, I've shared a post, and we've created some intriguement on that post. What I'm then doing is, obviously, I'm taking them off into a personal message, because again, I don't want anyone else to see that I'm doing Juice Plus. I'm then taking them into a personal message, and I'm telling them, whether it be about the products or the business, whatever the case is. If they're still a little bit hesitant or they're not sure, I'm actually writing a list of those people's names, and I've got a book of people's names, and I put it in the book. And what I do is every morning, and this is one of my DMOs for every morning, I will go into that book and I will find them, and I will like something on their page, or I will comment on something on their page. And what that is doing is I'm then interacting with someone new on my Facebook page. So Facebook is starting to understand, okay, well, this person's now interacting with this person, so I'm going to show them more posts of what Marissa's doing. It's kind of playing a little bit of a game. And then vice versa, they're going to see my posts. Because if you're just always interacting with your friends or the people that you know, or, you know, Juice Plus people, what's going to happen with Facebook is they're very clever. The people that you're interacting with all the time, you genuinely will see their posts, and vice versa, they will see yours. So I kind of want to mix it up a little bit. And if those people have already got some type of interest, I'm going to make sure that I'm in their face. So I'm going to like it. And it's not going to obviously get me a sale or, you know, get someone into the business straight away, but I'm there, I'm in their face, and they remember me, and they know that I'm around. And again, that's constantly what I've done. And that works with my business page as well, which I'll get into that in a minute. So I'm liking pages, I'm liking people's comments, I'm liking their photos, and I'm interacting. And yeah, it does take a little bit of time, because now I've got quite a big book, and I don't necessarily do everyone. I just kind of fiddle around and jump around with a few different people, because otherwise I'd be here, you know, I'd spend a whole day commenting and liking other people's posts. So they're just some of the little strategies that I've used to get a bigger build of followers on my personal page. Because if you are not, again, connecting and reaching out, you're not, in 3 or 4 months, we're still going to be in the same, we're going to be in the same, we're going to be the same to where we were, you know, 2 months ago. So it's really important, again, to keep adding and liking. I always get asked, what can I post about? And people really struggle with posting. So every week, I actually make time I go through pictures on Pinterest. I go through pictures on Google, wherever it may be. It could be on Facebook. I see pictures and I save them. In my photo album in my phone, I have a specific Juice Plus photo album. So when I'm posting in the mornings, when I've got 5 billion things going on, I'm not searching for different pictures to, you know, what am I going to put up? I've already got a photo album of things that of pictures that I can use straight away. And I just go into that photo album, pick a picture, whether it'll be an inspirational picture or whatever, and I'm done. I also save videos all the time. We see all these motivational videos on Facebook. I'm always saving them to come back to them later, because I know somewhere down the track I can use those on my Facebook page. So if you don't know how to save, there's a little on Facebook, because I have been asked that question a few times this week, on if you see a motivational post or something that you like, another Juice Plus post, there's a little arrow in the top right hand corner. You just click on that and it comes down with a drop down menu and you hit save post, and then you can come back and view it later. So every day I'm actually adding pictures that I see that I like, even posts from other Juice Plus people. I go, oh, I really like that post. I'll save it. I'm not necessarily going to use it and copy it, but I might implement something that's quite similar, and I can go back to that and have a look at that later. So I do have a photo album, pictures all ready to go. So every day I can just go into that album and pick, and I'm ready to go. So there are other strategies, obviously, that you can use if you don't have time. We all know about Hootsuite and Buffer and all those other type of things. Most definitely use them if you're working. I tend not to use them because I'm already okay with posting. But definitely, I would definitely suggest that if you are having problems with posting or you don't know what pictures to use, then start creating photo albums and get pictures already in your album, so you don't have time, so you've got time to think about it when you're ready to post. So the general golden rule of when I'm posting is a few things. So from the beginning of the week, I don't really necessarily have certain posts that I post during the day, but I do implement a bit of a strategy when it comes to posting. So I'm not posting Juice Plus, Juice Plus, Juice Plus, Juice Plus, Juice Plus. Throughout the week, I've got different things that I focus on. So my first one is I look for entertaining posts. So I'm also, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking what my niche market is and what's going to attract these people to me, because don't forget, I'm trying to brand myself. So I'm thinking the first thing that my niche market is mums, and so work from home mums, stay at home mums and mums that are currently working. That's my niche market. So my posting is always going to be around my niche market. So when I look for entertaining posts, I'm thinking about things that these mums can already relate to. So I have a little bit of I don't know if you've seen it, but there's actually a good Facebook page. I think it's called It's a Couple Thing, and it's a cartoon, and it's a Ken and Barbie. And it's just Ken and Barbie always fighting, and it's always, the girl's always right and the husband's always wrong. And it's one that I use all throughout my page, and you'll see it. It's hilarious. But again, mums that are working and mums that are stay at home can really relate to that. And it's just a bit of fun. It's a bit of entertainment. My next thing that I'll have throughout the week is inspirational posts. So you'll see my Facebook page is filled with inspirational posts. So again, throughout the week, if I see someone else post a really nice quote, or I see it in a book, or I write it down, or I put it in my photo album and I can come back to it later. I'll talk about actually inspirational posts on about my business page in a minute. The other thing is educational posts. So I'm posting things that are relevant to not Juice Plus itself, but in that industry. So in the health and wellness industry, it might be, I don't know, doing 30 plank challenge or something like that. Something educational to do with what we're actually talking about in our industry. And then the other thing that I do is create conversations throughout the week. And this is a really good way to actually interact with other people and get engagement straight away. And it is asking questions on Facebook. Lauren's really good at it. Just the random, I don't know, are you an iPhone lover or a Samsung lover? Something like that. You're again engaging interaction, and you're getting other people to your page, and you're just getting more interaction. I think, Keeks, you did a really good post, and I thought, man, that was really genius of you, and I actually thought about it later. I think you wrote, I'm sure it was you, I think you wrote on your Facebook page, what do mums who work do with their kiddies while on holidays? Now, if that's not strategic, I don't know what is, and I'm not sure, Keeks, if you did that strategically or not, but I thought it was brilliant, because what she's doing now is she's interacting with, and I'm sure that's her niche market anyway, she's now interacting with mums that are basically their mums, and they're either complaining about putting their kids in daycare or having to look after them while they go to work. So I'm thinking, man, if I was Keeks, I'd actually be writing these people down that were commenting and liking and interacting, and I'd be going and liking their pages and keeping myself now in their feed so they can watch the journey. And I think that's a really great way to interact with more people. So I really liked that, and I'm going to use that, Keeks, if that was you. The other thing is promotion. So you very rarely see me promote Juice Plus. I do it very rarely. And in the week, I'm adding bits and pieces of people's journeys on Juice Plus, but I'm never saying it. And then occasionally you'll see me, post about the 30 shakes or the berries or Talon with his shakes. But yet I still consistently get orders in a week. So it works, and I know it works. So I think the last month that went, I think it was the only month the whole time that I've been in the business that I did less than 5 customer orders in the month. And that was purely because I was concentrating on team and I had an influx of people come in at that time. So don't think because you're not putting Juice Plus on your page that you are not going to get customer orders. You're just creating that intriguement, and remember it's long term, it's not short term gain. It's for what's going to happen future down the track. So there are a few of my little posting strategies that I've used. Am I on time, Loz? Am I all right?
You're getting massive value. Yeah. Keep going. I've got many notes. Okay. You can know what they say, but I've got notes.
So I think the most thing that I suppose we all want to talk about is personal pages versus business pages. And look, it's a great little topic. I strongly recommend that if you are new into this business, not to worry about a business page at this point of time, because if you think of a business page, or you look at traditional business. In traditional business, if you want to advertise your business, or if you want to get more people to buy off you, what do you have to do? You have to advertise. And what do you have to do to advertise? You have to pay money. And that's exactly how a business page works on Facebook. So if you right from the beginning don't have the outlay to invest in a business page, which none of us do, let's be honest. I certainly didn't. None of us do right at the beginning. Then this is why you should be adding massive value in your personal page and getting people into that personal page and worrying about the business page at a later date. Because Facebook are very strategic. If you are not spending money with them, they are not getting your posts out on that business page. I have so many people go, I've got a business page, but people aren't connecting with me. They're not interacting with my posts. And that's because Facebook were going, well, you're not spending money with me, so I'm not getting your Facebook page. That's how Facebook works. So it's really important to use your personal page as your source of connecting with people first. So going into the business page, when I got into the business page, so because I'm looking at this business long term, I'm not looking at it for a short term gain. I'm not looking at it to buy a pair of shoes at the end of the month, or buy a dress at the end, or a bag, whatever. I'm thinking long term down the track. So when you've got a traditional business, what you do is you actually put money back into your business. So what I'm doing is each month, yes, that money is coming, it's great, it's handy, but I'm thinking long term. So I have a portion of that money that I get from Juice Plus that now goes into my Facebook page, my business page. And that's how I've started growing my business page. So I put money away each week to implement into that business page. And I don't want to scare anyone off that think, you've got to have huge amounts of dollars, you don't. But this is why I suggest that you actually need to start with that personal page first and grow that as much as you can. When you start to do a business page, then you can start adding some of those people. You can invite them to your business page. So yeah, business versus personal page. If you're not getting interaction and you're not spending money, that's definitely why, because Facebook don't really want to know anything about you until you're actually paying money. And you can actually start with advertising for as little as $5 a day, $5 a week. Excuse me, whatever you choose. I looked at it because of people, you're crazy, Marissa, you know, why aren't you doing this with your money? Or because I'm thinking long term. But what I'm also thinking is, okay, right from the beginning when I started, I thought, okay, well, I can't really afford to put so much into advertising. So I had to look at things that were going on in my life that I could get rid of. And one of those things for me is I was a maniac when it comes to magazines, house magazines, renovating magazines, you name it. I had 20 a week going. I would spend literally 50 to 60 bucks a week on magazines. I've now wiped that because I'm that focused on this business and where it's going to go to, that now I have $50 a week that I can put into my business page. And that's just something that I've personally done. And it's something that you have to think about, if you want this business long term and you want that business page going, that it's something that you really will have to consider. And yeah, it sucks, but again, I'm thinking long term, I'm thinking strategically for the long term goal and not what's going to happen next month, if that makes sense to everybody. Business pages, what I suggest if you are going to start a business page is I suggest that you don't necessarily pick business page as your business page, because we don't want people and this is just my personal opinion, but I don't want people thinking that I'm there to sell something to them. I just want to offer value, and again, I want to create curiosity, and I want people to get intrigued what I'm up to. So I actually select, and I actually tell my team to do the exact same thing, is pick community. Choose community as your title. The other question that I got asked the other day, can I buy likes to my business page? And it's a big fat no. You will see people, you can get websites where you can buy 2,000 followers for, I don't know, 20 bucks. What you're doing is you're really just affecting your business long-term later on down the track, because what's going to happen is when you start posting, these are fake accounts that you're getting added to your business page. So it's just going to post to these fake accounts, and what you're offering is not getting out to anyone. So I definitely wouldn't recommend buying likes at all. I suppose to the number one question is, Marissa, how have you got so many likes on your business page? And it just comes down to, I've been consistent right from the beginning. I'm always adding people to my business page that have either made an interaction with me about the product, about the business opportunity. The other obviously is I'm actually now paying for advertising as well, which increases, again, likes and followers and interaction. But what I'm doing is I'm branding me. I'm not putting out anywhere on my business page that I'm doing Juice Plus at all. It's all about my journey and what I'm creating and who my niche market is and who I'm trying to get, what I'm trying to do out there to help those people. So I am focusing on people's pain points on my business home. Working or stay-at-home mums, we all know their pain points. We all know they want to be home with their kids. So I'm adding, again, I'm sharing those stories that I know that are going to hit those pain points. So I think one of the biggest post intriguements I had was Joe's caravan. She bought a caravan, and so again, those stories I'm sharing on my business page. I'm not promoting at all the products on that business page. I'm promoting the benefits of what it can do. So I'm obviously working with my niche market is mummies. So I am always posting about things on that business page to do with what's going on in my life, what's happening to other people, that, you know, what this business has done for other people, and posting motivational posts about that, and also looking for motivational videos and making it all relevant to my brand. I have nothing on my business page to do with Juice Plus, and I definitely recommend you going down that track. What else have I got to share? So when someone interacts in my business page, I actually follow the same what I do with my personal page. So as soon as someone interacts with me, I get them into a personal message. I do that exactly the same way on the business page. As soon as someone connects with me, we go through what gets their interest, and we do all the event links, and we, you know, follow all the golden rules that we normally do. But what happens is people will still be very skeptical, and they'll say no, or they're a little bit, you know, not really into it. What I then do with those people is I will never let them go. I will always say to them, I understand that you may be a little bit skeptical or whatever they're saying to you, but can I add you as a friend so you can watch my journey and see a little bit about what I do? And boom, I got them. They're in my friends list, and now they're watching my journey. And I can tell you, two of the girls that are on here are two of those girls that have now come through on this business. So it works, and it's definitely worked for me, and I'm following that strategy. But I'm never letting them go. I'm following them up all the time, but I'm trying to get them from my business page now to my personal page, where again, I've created that diary. So they're watching my journey. They're watching what's going on in my life. They're watching, you know, the conferences, the coffee dates, the events that are happening, all those wonderful things that we love. I've got their intriguement, and they can watch my journey. And again, it's not about now. It could be for down the track. So that's what I do with my business people that are coming in, inquiring. The downside to what I do with promoting my brand on my business is I'm not telling people that I'm in the health and wellness industry. And therefore that can create a lot of people that say no because it's not for them, and that's fine. But I can tell you, if I looked at someone posting and it said, you know, come and join my Juice Plus team, I would have said no straight away. I wouldn't have even interacted with that post. But at least if I've got some girls, you know, traveling around in caravans and whatnot, I've created some intriguement. So I've got them in my hand. It's whether or not after they watch that Zoom, because we know we want that Zoom to do all the wonderful things, the event, whether or not something resonates with them. And I get heaps of no's. But again, what I'm doing with those no's is I'm trying to get them back into my friends list again. So they're never disappearing. They're always there. So the downside to having a business page that's not really saying or stating what you're doing is you are going to get a lot of interaction, and you are going to get a lot of no's. So you've got to be prepared for the no's and just go on to the next. Posting on my business page, now, because I've created a brand, I'm not actually copying and pasting anything. I'm actually tying everything into my brand. And this comes down to marketing your brand on your posts. So you'll see a lot of my posts now will actually have my brand name on them. So if I see posts that I like, I don't generally, sometimes I do, just depends what's going on during the week. But I will actually, if I see a post and it's a motivational post, I'll generally copy it onto my own post, and I'll create my own post and I'll brand it so it's got my name on it. And I do that all from my phone. So I don't ever 98% of my posting is done from my iPhone. I hardly ever use the PC. So don't think because you don't have any, you know, wham bam fancy PCs at home that you can't post, because everything I do is generally on my phone, and I only I only use 4 things to create a post: Word Swag, Canva, Fontmania, and Pic Collage are my 4 ones that I use constantly all the time. Pictures on posting, everyone asks where I get all these beautiful pictures from. Well, I'm a bit cheeky because I like to steal other people's pictures on Pinterest. And look, you've got to be really careful with that because you can get in trouble for it. So don't, you just got to be really careful and don't kind of pick bloggers' photos because they will, they won't be happy. I generally go through Pinterest and find things again that are relatable to my brand. So if I'm doing a work from home post or I'm trying to get people to look at the business opportunity, I usually find pretty desks, or I'll search in Pinterest workspaces, or most of you know by now my theme is pretty much pink. So I always find, pink pretty workspaces, and I actually put those words in Pinterest, and that's how I find those pictures. And generally that's where I only find my pictures. Sometimes I'll go into Google. And I spend some time going through Pinterest and just snapping them, and again putting them into my photo album so I can use at a later date. So Pinterest is amazing, so I recommend that. You can certainly buy pictures. I don't do that, but you can use Adobe pictures, and you can actually go into Shutterstock as well. Some pictures you can pick up for $2. Some of them can get quite expensive, so you can definitely look at that as well. I do get asked, what do I write on my post? People always have trouble thinking about what to write. And I generally just have to say is just speak from the heart. Don't be too fussed on what you put into your post because no one's going to remember them the next day anyway. So I'm pretty, if I'm putting a motivational post up, I will generally find another quote and use that as my writing for that motivational post, and that's my usually go-to. I'll go and search Google again for quotes that have success, and I'll find another quote, and then I'll generally write that up the top. That's generally what I do. And then also, I just need to add to, I'm always taking pictures of what's going on in the family, so especially with the kids, because again, that's my brand. I've always got pictures of my kids up, so it's relatable. And sometimes I don't use those. Sometimes I have those pictures in my photo album for a couple of weeks and then decide to use them. So don't be afraid to do that as well. Try and get that photo album, take some pictures and put it in there and use it later for your brand later on. I do want to quickly cover hashtags because hashtags are really, really important at the moment. They're becoming extremely popular and it's a really great way for people to find you. So what I suggest with hashtags is that find someone that you kind of relate to in terms of your business, someone successful, and look at the hashtags that they're using, because generally those people have already researched what hashtags are working and what aren't. And you can copy some of those. But try and create hashtags around the people that you're trying to who you want to interact with, so what your market is. So again, hashtag work from home, hashtag mums, all those type of things. Use those hashtags in your posts because it is becoming very popular now. Instead of people going to Google, they're actually hashtagging and searching people that are related to those hashtags. And you're going to see that hugely over the next couple of years with hashtags. Do I go on more platforms of in social media? No, I don't. I use one because I'm good at that and I stick with that. I would suggest it's up to you. You can definitely use so many different platforms there, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, all those wonderful things, but really just concentrate on one that you are good at and stick with that. I will say, though, that I am researching Instagram. I'm not a big Instagrammer, but in the last 4 months, there's 1 billion people joined Instagram. 1 billion people. That's so many people. So Instagram is definitely going to take over Facebook in the next couple of years. So, you know, if you're not good at Instagram, start researching, start finding out a bit of information about posting on Instagram. It's definitely not my thing. Facebook is my business and where I get my business, but I'm definitely in the research process on Instagram at the moment. I think to wrap everything up, in terms of my strategy, it's always following those 5 paying activities, and they relate back to your social media. Connect and reach out is definitely my number one strategy to start with. And you always to think long term. Don't think about what's happening now. Think about what's going to happen later on down the track, and be consistent. And that's all that's worked. That's what's worked for me over the last 6 months. And I don't know if that's enough, Loz. Have I talked enough?
Not enough. It was crazy. And everyone kind of got glimpses of bad internet. Like, I want everyone to know. Marissa lives out in, I don't know, somewhere in New South Wales, near Sydney, but not.
I live, the funny thing is I live like 45 minutes away from the city, but I'm on a so I'm very limited to phone lines around me.
Bushfire zone, as Michelle says. I love it.
Yeah.
I love that. But no, oh my God, amazing. If you guys honestly put down in the comments below, she needs a drink. I always say you attract part of who you are. Marissa likes to talk just as much as I do. Sometimes our phone calls can go haywire. So honestly, I put her on the spot this morning. She probably wasn't even half awake yet when I asked her to do this. So she didn't have to. She was just going to do this with her team. But I was like, oh, my God, you've got so much value. You do social media way better than I do. I steal her posts, to be honest. And, like, take notes away from that. Like, I put some in the comments. You know, she follows all of the golden rules of reaching out, connecting, but she applies it to social media. You know, that's definitely always been my strategy. So if you don't like social media, then maybe this wasn't the training for you. But go and apply those things to face to face, you know, belly to belly. I think, you know, social media is a great attraction tool. It always should be a tool in your tool belt. You know, for me, I took notes. Like, I loved this. You should have done my 90-day game plan social media talk last year. But this is awesome. Think about the post. Think about your niche market. You know, posting around what they will relate to. It's very weird and quirky that I attract mums because I am a massive travel bug, but I attract mums that want more. You know, so definitely things that relate around your niche market. Don't be all things to all people, right? Marissa is not trying to attract, you know, big burly dudes into her team. She's not trying to attract, you know, the 21-year-olds into her team. She's trying to attract a very niche market. The posting, like entertaining posts, how she broke it up was awesome. Inspirational posts, educational posts, questions that cause interaction, and then like promotional posts, be it promoting, you know, the berry challenges, promoting, you know, through like the team. You know, I did a call just before for another team, and one of their questions like, so you do a post about the business and you get people sign up. I'm like, no, right? That's not how it works. It's about creating attraction. And people buy into us. I think you'll always hear it. And that tracker sheet, you know, Marissa has some great things that she utilizes through her business page and her personal page, is like that kiss, kiss, hug rule, right? To make sure that Facebook marries you up. And I was like Chris, I did not use Instagram until I realized that you could link them. So everything I post on Instagram can go on Facebook. So when I'm on like really lazy days, I'm like, oh, I can post to both. And I've had 4 people in the last 2 weeks reach out through private message and be like, hey, tell me what the Girl Boss movement's about. So Instagram is on the rise. I can't believe 1 billion people have joined it. That's mental. But you got to love pictures. You got to love the arty farty world, which sometimes I don't. It's got to be one person to follow if you love Instagram and you want to know how to build a great Instagram business, is Sophie Hughes. Business Bombshells, I think she is. She's got pink hair, her Instagram is immaculate. Like, it is incredible. But Facebook, honestly, it's more user-friendly. It's more duplicatable. And, you know, you'll find a bigger array of people right now on Facebook, and it is always changing. It is always developing. But Instagram is a little bit harder to work out, for me anyway. So massive thank you to Marissa, big burly dudes. How I describe people. Massive love to Marissa. I'm just going to check that there's no questions that went unanswered. But if you have any questions, now one thing I do ask is you don't go and add Marissa. She just said she won't accept you. That's how I get. Like, I'll accept every single person in our team. So if you go and add someone to the team, I'll probably add them as a friend, because I want to connect with our team. But you don't want to be a cheerleading squad. You want to use business, Facebook and Instagram and social media as a business tool, right? Because so many people go, oh my God, everyone does Juice Plus. I'm like, no, you're friends with 150 Juice Plus people and you go and interact with their posts. Therefore, that's all you see. So definitely go and follow her, but don't go and add her because she probably won't accept it. But never take heart to that, right? If Adam doesn't accept you or if Kira doesn't accept you, they use Facebook as a business tool. You're amazing. I learned so much. I know the team will learn so much, and now you can like have a glass of wine and relax.
I will.
Thanks,
Roz. Thanks.
Thank you so much. I'll take everyone off mute and I'll stop the recording.